Also, let me focus on Atiku Abubakar. Atiku Abubakar has been contesting the presidency since 1992. Indeed, there is really no election since 1992 that he has not participated in. He ran against Abiola. In 1999, he ran first as governor, then as vice president. In 2003, he picked a form. And that was the crisis, that was what led to the crisis between him and Obasanjo.
Yeah, definitely, everybody. The 2027 general election is going to focus on a lot of things, considering the fact that a lot of opposition are springing up, especially against this present administration. And then the fact that an incumbent was defeated in 2015 has given a lot of courage to opposition party that yes, they can do it, they can remove the government in power. Don't forget that was the very first time in Nigeria's history that a sitting government, an incumbent, will be removed from power. But there has been Atiku Abubakar that has been contesting since 1992. Now we have Donald Duck saying this to him.
Also, let me focus on Atiku Abubakar. Atiku Abubakar has been contesting the presidency since 1992. Indeed, there is really no election since 1992 that he has not participated in. He ran against Abiola. In 1999, he ran first as governor, then as vice president. In 2003, he picked a form. And that was the crisis, that was what led to the crisis between him and Obasanjo. 2007, he ran, I think he ran on AD or so. 11, he ran, he came back to PDP, right? He ran, was it 11? He ran in 11 against Jonathan. 15, he ran. 19, he ran. 23, he wants to run. Now only you did. A time comes when you look at it and say, it's enough. Let me be a kingmaker rather than this king. Because when people tell me that they heard from God, I've never heard from God. But you see signs of where he wants you to go. And if you keep on doing one thing or the same thing over and over again and it's not happening, then God is not with you. Leave this Abraham Lincoln story that he ran many times before he got it. He ran only 2 times and he got it. Right? So it's becoming ridiculous. And again, and this is why I respect people who say that, look, we all want the same thing. What the North wants is not different from what the South wants, right? But we all want a sense of belonging. That is the commonality between us. How do you justify, or how do we justify to our children that after 8 years of Northern leadership, we go back and have another 8 years? Ordinarily, I'm not a proponent of zoning and stuff like that, but I'm a proponent of equity. And that takes, to me, precedence to zoning. But even beyond that, our country is in a very desperate situation today. And you need a leader that is formidable, a leader that can make things right. Not the pandering that goes on here today. What we have in Nigeria is a very disgraceful leadership. I spoke to a president of one of the West African countries, and he said to me that the problem with West Africa, and indeed the problem with Africa, is that Nigeria is nowhere to be found. This is the general sentiment. Nigeria is nowhere to be found. We are 5th the population of the continent. We are by far the most outstanding nation of the continent. But when they look, there's just nobody. This is the time to stand firm, because too much nonsense has gone on in this country. The Americans thought we would collapse by 11 or 14 or 15. They thought so, and they did their work. In a lot of instances, we have collapsed. Tell me one sector in Nigeria that is working.
Problem with Nigeria is that you hired incompetent people who don't have any capacity to do anything. So all they do is tell you in schools, tell you a story. That's not securing a place. It's either you have a state or you don't have a state. You can't have non-state actors be more powerful than state. It's not possible. We're not trying to run the usual politics where somebody is campaigning to be president or to be governor, to be anything. We're trying to bring a change in a collapsed system. And when we bring a change, bring a true change, a change that is committed, where all of you and everybody is involved. We want to take back our country. We believe that today our country is not governed or served by people who believe in the country. I've been going about, you are the 6th stop. I have touring various cities, from Germany to Toronto to everywhere. You are the 6th one. Everywhere I go, I see huge number of Nigerians. The question is, who is remaining in Nigeria? Those who are remaining are probably those who couldn't get out. And as I go about, I ask myself a question. And I look around and ask myself, what makes this place better than Nigeria?
Free market.
We have free market, actually. We have very strong free market policies. We have better weather. We have better environment.
Incoming.
We have better food. Everything, we're family, we're better people. I can tell you. You can be hungry in Nigeria and your neighbor can give you food. If you're hungry in America, nobody's going to give you food. So we have everything. So what is wrong? How did we get to a stage where today nobody wants to go back there? How did we get to a stage where we have millions of people in a country that is so blessed with everything hungry? How do we get to where the place has become one of the worst places when you talk about terrorism, kidnapping, all forms of criminality? How did we get where, if you refer people, one employed in the world, we're there? What happened? This is a country. In the 80s, most of you went to school in Nigeria, and I'm proud to say you're Nigerian. In the 80s, you cannot compare Nigeria with China, with Korea, with all these countries. We had 3 times the reserve of China. Today I have 3 trillion. These are countries that we cannot compare us with. People used to come from Saudi and everything to patronize our teaching hospitals and everything. So how did we get here? Indians were all over the place in Nigeria as teachers, Philippines and everything. Today, we are going to India. We want to just escape to anywhere, no matter where it is. How did we get here? All you are seeing in Nigeria today is cumulative effect of leadership failure over the years. The only thing that Nigeria lacked is leadership. And that is the leadership that brought us where we now have the highest number of people living in poverty in the surface of the earth.
Yes, Donald Duck indeed said that yeah, he is the only one that must he contest in every election. He has been, he said a lot about Atiku that has been contesting since 1992. That there has never been any general election that Atiku Abubakar has never contested, and that he said he definitely is going to contest in this particular one. Don't forget, he's the key opposition leader from northern part of Nigeria that wants to contest. He contested against Buhari and he won. Buhari won, of course, and then ideally it should be the turn of the south, but he said he's still going to contest. So he has been a real contestant. But of course, what a lot of people are not happy about, especially southern Nigeria, southeast, most especially, is that he's going to possibly reduce the chances of Obi. Now, ADC is the coalition umbrella, the umbrella that brings together opposition party in Nigeria. They want to repeat the feat that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu did alongside with the late former president Muhammadu Buhari when he galvanized all opposition figure into one umbrella, which it's now called All Progressive Congress, and they won that particular election. Now, the ADC now wants to repeat that particular feat, but of course, from the look of things now, that they may definitely have issues there because of varying interest. Now, if only Atiku can surrender his desire to be president of Nigeria, the chances for Obi will be very high. But of course, we still have an Amechi, which some northerners or key northern elites said they would rather go for than Obi, because they feel that Obi is represent a section of the country that are calling for division, and most northerners don't want Nigeria to be divided, because the fact that you have not northern people, a lot of northern people in southern part of Nigeria, especially Lagos, Ogun, and most key southern states. So they are hacking out economic living for themselves. But of course, this particular video definitely is very, very important because Obi is the key opposition figure from southern Nigeria, and then we know how this politics is going to play out, because while Obi is key in southern part of Nigeria, definitely is not key in northern part of Nigeria. Although, of course, a lot of northerners rather may not be in tune with Atiku Abubakar compared to the late Muhammadu Buhari. But of course, Muhammadu Buhari is, Atiku Abubakar, you see a very, very important personality, definitely said he's not going to step down. A lot of people have been prevailing on him to step down, but from the look of things, he said that he's not going to step down, that the party primary be conducted. Now, the question now is, if the party primary is conducted, you think Anobi stands a chance? And then, if Anobi does not stand a chance, then what then happen? Is definitely going to have issue here, because definitely a lot of obedience and Obi supporters will not want him to be a second fiddle. They will rather think he's so desperate, and then an Amechi possibly will be the running mate of Atiku Abubakar. Now, what's your opinion on this matter? Do you think how do they convince Atiku Abubakar? Atiku Abubakar has been running as far back as 1992. A man that has been, how do you easily convince a man that has been running as far back as 1992 for the presidency of the nation? Considering the fact that age is no longer on his side, if this could possibly be his very last presidential race, not because of anything or the other, but because he may become too old to run for another presidential race come 2031. I think Atiku Abubakar is possibly 76 now or thereabout, and then if at 80 or thereabout. I don't think that it will make any sense for him to come and run for any electoral office or presidential office. What's your opinion? How do we convince an Obi, rather an Atiku, that look, let Obi run and let's see what he can do. Let Obi run, let's see how he can perform. Let Obi run, let's see how popular he is. Hit me up in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I'll see you in another video.